Sean is you're out of Washington today. I'm in California, so not too far from each other. Still the West Coast, the better coast. Sorry, East Coast. But let's talk about YouTube, man. I was just talking to Sean about Mr. Beast just announced 100 million followers, and we're like, that's nuts. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually a perfect event for today's conversation. Media, the landscape of media, YouTube, the opportunity to build your influence, and a lot of entrepreneurs. I know this community, high-level business owners, trying to figure out how to leverage media and ultimately reach more people, recruit better talent, position yourself, recession-proof your income, become anti-fragile by also diversifying into media. I think it's exciting all that's happening here, and I'm excited to talk about it today.
Thanks, man. Well, for those people who don't know you, Sean, it's pronounced Sean Cannell, like channel. I remember
like
that.
YouTube
I
channel.
screwed that up. Like YouTube channel. He's got a best-selling book, which is behind him on the right, YouTube Secrets. Go get it on Amazon. I read it. Actually, my son and I read it together. So great book. I always recommend that one. And he's also got a few YouTube channels. The big one is Think Media Like Your Hat, right? We got a little over 2 million. By the way, I interviewed Chris Doe, who you know really well.
Love him.
And he's like, dude, I told Sean, we're coming after your channel. I was like, okay. Okay. That's interesting. Good competition there, man. Good competition. Anyway, follow Sean, and I follow him on Instagram there. I see a lot of his reels with his 2-year-old son. Great reels, by the way, man. I like those with your family.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to our interview. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
All right, man. So you've got a deck, but I have a question for you first, because it's one that comes up across all businesses, and it seems to be a concern, and that's the feeling that we need a big amount of followers in order to succeed in social media. What do you think about that? Because I hear, we need at least 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And then you see people buy followers, and that doesn't seem to work.
Yeah. I think, men and women greater than me have already established principles that answer this question that's way bigger than YouTube. It's way bigger than any of our niche businesses. I think it was popularized first in 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. And I'm sure Stephen Covey got it, maybe even somewhere else, right? And it was begin with the end in mind. So this whole idea of whether you need a lot of followers or not is kind of just the wrong first question. The first question is, what are you even trying to do? I was on a mastermind the other day, and someone said, we're just trying to break through some barriers and figure out how to do 10 million a year, how to get to, 8 figures. What's the math? With the products, do we need a new product? Do we need this? And I was in a Zoom chat, and I just wrote, how about just one client for a $10 million offer? And like, obviously a joke, maybe not though, because it's like, how do I have a $10 million? Well, you just have a $10 million offer. How many clients can you take? Just one. We just do one a year. So that I think is a good illustration though, right? Of the fact where if your YouTube channel was getting 36 views a video, but you were talking to, say, a very niche, high level type of investor, you maybe just need one, maybe you just need 3, maybe you just need 10. So it's actually much more about getting really crystal clear on what it is you want to accomplish. Now, if you're Grant Cardone and you want to build a $1 billion plus real estate empire, leveraging OPM and other people's money, then the bigger you can build your platform, and then the model of creating like Cardone Capital is what you're trying to do. You're trying to kind of play on both. You need maybe big numbers to get a few people that can invest big money into your thing, but just what are you trying to do? And so are you trying to go one to many? Do you have a niche, boutique type of a business or agency? And luxury real estate, maybe sell $100 million home a year, and get your 2.5% or whatever you need. Like, you can or a lot of lower. So I think that's the bigger question. And illustrated by that, we had a student, Jen DeVore, She had 500 subscribers, 500, not 500,000, not 100 million like Mr. Beast, and he just got a Ruby play button. But she helps entrepreneurs specifically with marketing on kind of a very boutique. She takes a few clients, helps them get PR, press, media. And so she sends us an email and she goes, hey, I joined your program and we just had an $11,000 week. And her videos were getting 26 views and 48 views, but she's just getting in front of the right people. So I think that's what I would say to that question. Maybe you need a huge audience if you're trying to be an entertainer, but I would imagine for the people in your community that are watching this, they probably don't want to dance on TikTok. They probably aren't trying to get millions of followers so that they can get sponsored by Crest toothpaste and reach, a children's gummy vitamins. They're probably trying to, figure out some kind of a business result. And that opportunity is especially relevant for us on YouTube. And we do not need a big audience to start driving massive results for our businesses.
Great point, man. Great point. By the way, Melody says she's excited to be here. She's been following you for a long time. I want to say thank you. She's from Salt Lake City.
Love SLC, man. It's amazing.
Good point. A lot of good points here. Good point. And then Blair says no dancing. Yeah, he's not going to be dancing for his audience. Damn you, Blair. You should be. You should be, man. All right, Sean, you've got a presentation for us, man. Go ahead and pump that one up if you can.
I'm fired up. So thank you everyone for being here. And I just want to give you some practical handles today of how to leverage YouTube to grow your business. And specifically, I want to give you 3 surefire YouTube video ideas, simple videos you could start creating today that'll help you stand out in a crowded market, earn passive income, and grow from 0 to 100,000 subscribers quick. And to that point, 100,000 subscribers is not some magic number. It could be from 0 to 1,000 subscribers if it's the right people. But nevertheless, we, of course, want to continue to expand our influence and grow. So the big first question I just want to hit, though, is why should you invest in media? Because we need to blow the conversation up a little bit wider. It's really not about YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. It's actually, why should you invest in media itself? One of the things that's interesting is what's now called the creator economy. And so the creator economy are individuals who are making a living off of creating content. And a lot of people are joining this, meaning maybe you've built wealth or you've built your business in real estate or financial services or, brick and mortar or any kind of coaching or consulting. And you've now pivoted into more teaching. This is kind of a blurry industry, meaning a lot of creators could be authors, speakers, those that have started coaching and consulting. But nevertheless, the creator economy is currently valued at $20 billion. And this is a Forbes article with estimations that it'll grow to over 104.2 billion by the end of this year. So that's 5x growth. So as the White House is denying that we're in a recession, but nevertheless, the GDP has gone backwards, right, at least 2 quarters. And I know that unemployment is still low. So who knows? There's economists that are greater than I. Nevertheless, and as tech stocks are going down, the creator economy is going up. 5x growth is serious growth, right? In terms of dollars flowing into this industry and dollars flowing into the pockets of creators. I think that it's also, you probably saw that Joe Rogan was offered $100 million his deal was up to 200 million, for Spotify. Rumble actually offered him 100 million to ditch Spotify. And so we're seeing big money flowing into the space. Recently, a gaming company called FaZe Clan went public. And they launched, and there's a little drama in their IPO, but ultimately it'll be interesting to see long-term. We're just seeing kind of the maturity of this industry. My friend Ryan Pineda, originally still the founder of Future Flipper, flipping 100 homes a year, discovered that as he started to create content, that content and media was like 10 times, 100 times more lucrative than a lot of the other stuff he was doing. But it also was like jet fuel for all the real estate and investments and the hotel he recently bought. And same thing, he's doing what Grant's doing. He's leveraging other people's money because he's getting known. He's got his influence. We recently had an event, and it's good to ask ourselves, why are people like Patrick Bet David? I'm not sure if you know him in the lower right there, but founder of PHP Insurance, he has like something like 20,000, 30,000 agents. Why is he investing so heavily in media valuetainment? Why are Alex and Layla Hermosi built $100 million business through their 150, I think is what it's on track to do this year through portfolio companies? Why are they investing? They invest $40,000 a month in content, $40,000 in editors, people, videographers, so that they can reach further faster, get more influence. Of course, Gary Vaynerchuk. Why is he investing so heavily in media? I think because there is real results there. Again, nobody here is trying to dance on TikTok or just trying to even just get famous, or like they have some kind of insecurity and they're trying to fill a hole. Like they're purposefully embracing media because there's true power in it to make a greater impact, reach more people, and scale your business faster than ever before. And it's also important. This is some good information for you to have. Signal Fire revealed that the creator economy and those that are actually considering themselves content creators is actually the fastest growing type of small business right now. I know I grew up, eating its meatball subs at Subway, which is you could start a Subway franchise. That's a small business. In Seattle, where I grew up, there's an espresso stand on every corner. You could start an espresso stand. That's a small business. But now the fastest growing type of small business, you could start a Zumba fitness license, a CrossFit license or something. But the fastest growing type of small business is being a content creator, or basically an independent kind of work from home and create media. Man, we got to pay attention. 2 million global creators right now are making 6 figures just from like their fans and their audiences. And so I'm kind of in the unique middle, because again, I'm not asking you to dance on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, but this is also, they're not quite tracking the data correctly in terms of business owners who embrace this and take their business from 5 million a year to 15. They're not tracking as much that, but that opportunity applies for us. So why YouTube specifically though, with all the places you could be? Well, in 2022, video is where we all need to be. That's a quote from Forbes. So you should be writing articles, or you could be in audio, but out of all the content formats, no question, video is the most powerful, and it's what consumers want the most. And new data came out. YouTube now has 2.6 billion monthly active users. That's 300 million over just the last few months that it's increased. And this is accounts logged in with a Gmail address. So this is now, it's the second most popular social network, 2.6 billion. That's 1/3 of the world's population. So again, hey, is there a market there? What's the total addressable market? Is there the people I want to reach there? Are the B2B I want to reach there? Maybe, maybe not. Are the B2C there? For sure. Like the consumers are definitely there. Is my target audience there? It's something to really consider. And the demand for good content is skyrocketing, because I want to share that, especially too. You might say, okay, but it's 2022, Sean. Like I see, well, all these other guys are established. I see all these other people, they've been doing this. I feel like I'm late to the party. The good news is, yes, competition is high, but consumption is even higher. And the demand for good content continues to go up. So you want to capitalize on that. It's not too late to start. It's not too late to get in front of the right audience. And also, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. YouTube is localized in more than 100 countries and is available in over 80 languages. So here's the fact. YouTube is healthy, growing, and it's the most profitable platform to establish your brand. And I will reinforce that throughout this short presentation. But that, I think, is the big idea, is you're not watching this if you're not really selective of how you spend your time and your energy and where you invest your dollars and your thinking and your mindset. And okay, YouTube's cool, but I got fires in my business. I got people to hire. I got someone to fire. I got to fix my culture. Is this worth my time? That's the big foundational key, is that it absolutely is. And the next thing to know is that YouTube is a discovery machine. What do I mean by that? I mean that the reason you want to go all in on YouTube is when you look at some of these other platforms, they're all great. And let me know in the, Zoom chat, how active are you on social media? Are you producing content anywhere? Yes, you can kind of have a viral TikTok, but that may or may not reach the right people. Yes, you can. Twitter's not really going to be a place where you really build and get discovered. LinkedIn, you can network there, but it's not really like a place where you're going to grow and go viral and get found. The thing about all these platforms too, if you think about the way you experience them, and this is worth writing down, these are content feeds. That's why it's called a Facebook feed. That's why you have your Instagram feed. And what do you do on that feed? You just scroll. You scroll through there. Hey, what's happening today? Oh, cool. There's my Aunt Sarah. Oh, great. You see somebody in your family, their kids are growing up. You see a couple ads that come your way and you're like, those are the jeans I just looked at somewhere else. Now I'm being retargeted by a pixel and they're trying to sell me those jeans. But it's just a feed. It's a feed. It's a feed that's like kind of just constantly going. YouTube is different. YouTube is not a content feed. YouTube is a content library. Why? Because it's a search engine. So the reason this is powerful is because you can create a video today and it can be viewed for weeks, months, and years to come. The reason why I love YouTube the most is if you think about these other platforms, you create a TikTok or an Instagram today, nobody's watching that TikTok in a year or two. But if you create a YouTube video in the right way, and I'll show you 3 powerful ways to do this today, then people can keep watching it. You on this call for sure, more than anybody, understand the power of leverage. Kind of like I want to invest, even if rents are so hard to get correct right now, to have cash flowing properties. And especially I'm in Seattle. So like, it's almost impossible. You got to go to a different market. However, if you can have the vision and you have the business model right, you just go, well, I know rents will go up in a couple of years and 10 years appreciation. It's not going to matter. I wish I would have bought more because of appreciation. Real estate goes up in value. I think of YouTube as video estate. It's the only platform where your content lives forever. And your videos can work for you when you're not working. Let me illustrate. I posted a video on June 11, 2018. So this video came out 4 years ago. Now, in the last 2 days, this video got 3,487 views. That's worth dropping a mind-blown emoji in the chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
So 3,487 humans watched this video in the last 2 days while I was, pushing my son in the Thule stroller, hanging out while we were at the pool yesterday, actually, with my son and my wife. This video is being viewed. That's passive viewership. Now, why is that happening? If you look on screen, I know it's a lot of geeky numbers. We have YouTube search. 61% of the views are coming from YouTube search. This video has earned $30,000. Now, it is interesting because YouTube does pay you. This is going to be pennies compared to probably your other business model. But nevertheless, $30,923 beats a poke in the eye. That could be a team member that you add onto your team. And this one video also grew my influence, my channel, by 50,000 subscribers. So ultimately, this is an illustration of you post a video 4 years ago and it's generating money. It's generating influence. In the video, you might say, and hey, if you want to invest with me or you want to join my email list, or you want to download my free thing, or if you want to apply to be a part of our team or whatever, it doesn't matter what your call to action is. Like whatever you want to have happen in your business, you can have a video that continues to bring qualified prospects, traffic into your world. So I just want to quickly go through actually 3 ideas guaranteed to get views really quick, video ideas. A cool secret I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk and Dave Ramsey that you can apply on YouTube. How to create a simple napkin plan for success on YouTube, and then 15 different ways to make money. I'll just let you screenshot that because you can add on other income streams to your business. And we already met, but this is my wife, Sonia, and I. That was the greatest photo we could get of my son, Sean Bradley, on 4th of July. Any parents know what it is. That was as good as we could get. Like we tried, her brother was helping us. My mission is to help you build your influence with YouTube. As a small town kid, college dropout, it's been crazy to just be featured by, some of the world's top publications and speak on some of the biggest stages. CNBC actually did a mini documentary on me, super weird, where a 10-minute video about how I did a $40,000 profit month from the kind of stuff I do on YouTube. I got to work with brands and have been able to connect with and interview and work with some of the most influential business leaders on YouTube. And when you look at this and you look at like a Brennan Burchard or a Grant Cardone or Jasmine Star, Chalene Johnson, Lewis Howes, when I look at the same thing, why do they invest in media? That's That's one of the questions. Why are they so passionate about investing in media? Well, because it can really grow your business, right? It ultimately can grow your business. Wrote YouTube Secrets. And I'm most passionate about our students who many of them we've helped grow from zero. They had never posted a video, terrified to get on camera, terrified to get started, didn't know what to talk about. But with some of the stuff we're about to learn, it's going to hopefully dispel some of your fears, help you take action and get some results. So here's just 3 quick frameworks of Sean, what video should I make on YouTube? Number 1, answer specific questions. ASQ. Number 1, answer specific questions. Sean, I don't know what I would talk about. I feel like everyone's already talked about it. I feel like, man, my stuff's, I need to come up with something original, something really amazing. Like if I'm going to stand on YouTube, like, I don't know if I'm smart enough. Do I have anything cool enough to share? Well, this is what's interesting. Answer specific questions. While you're out there trying to come up with something amazing to share, I found a video called How to Drill into Your Wall. This video has 1.3 million views. So while you're out here thinking like, man, I just really need to impress people with my knowledge. Like if I'm going to grow my business, how am I going to get views? You don't need to be thinking about how to solve the secrets of the universe. You just need to answer specific questions. This person literally, how to drill into your wall.
That's crazy, dude.
1.3 million views. And actually, if you want to write this down, write ASSSQ, 3 S's, ASSSQ. I like to even go deeper on this and say, answer stupid, simple, specific questions. YouTube is a search engine. It's a content library. People are trying to figure out something because you go, listen, everybody knows how to drill into their wall. I mean, that's apparently 1.3 million people don't know how. They don't even want to just go for it. They need to watch a YouTube video first. Answer stupid, specific, simple questions. Beginner workout made simple. There's something about just making information for beginners, information for the people just getting started. This is one of the biggest things I see holds people up. We're trying to kind of impress our peers or come up with something fancy. Really, the kind of videos you should be making is just helping yourself who you were 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago, who you were 10 years ago. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like all these guys out, real estate experts, no, just go help the guy who's just starting in his first year. I just feel like, I don't know how fancy. And then, by the way, when you answer these simple, specific questions, this is Dr. Andrea Ferlin. She actually lives in Canada. She's a chronic pain specialist. Her channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers now. She got 136,000 views. Heat or ice, which one is best to treat pain? Again, she helps people figure out the most nuanced issues around tendonitis, but she's answering specific questions. How to study the Bible, 4 easy steps to get started, 62,000 views. Now, it's not just about the big views. It's my friend Stacy Tuchel. How to get in front of your customers and make more sales, 15,000 views. She shot a 7-minute video. Specific question that's attracting the right people to her world. Layla Hermosi, if she hasn't hit your radar yet, she's helping people that are actually a little further in business, operations type of stuff. How I cured procrastination. That's a specific question. How world-class leaders hold employees accountable. That's a specific question. So, and I really started to see this. This helped me grow my brand. And then I discovered, wait a minute, this is what like everyone's doing, even at the top. And I started to study Dave Ramsey and Marie Forleo and Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, if you know Dave Ramsey, he's a personal finance guy. And all he does, this is like all he does is answer specific questions. Like, he actually has a radio show, right, where people call in and they're like, hey, Dave, I'm thinking about buying a new truck. And he'll go, well, are you in debt? Well, Dave, I am in debt still. Yeah, I do have some credit card debt. Yeah. How's your truck right now? It's fine. It's just a little old and beat up. And he'll go, don't buy the new truck. Stick with the one you have. Well, thanks, Dave. Thank you for the wisdom. All right, we'll see you. Cut up your credit card, son. It's time for you. He just answers specific questions. And you know what? He just says the same thing. You might also go, I'd run out of things to say. Have you ever listened to a Dave Ramsey video?
Yeah, dude.
He has 7 points. He's turned it into 70 books. He just keeps, but the power also is that he keeps answering specific questions, but also in a pandemic world, also in a, is the housing market going to crash? Because there's always a new conversation. You have your framework and the stuff you share. So look at all these videos. I got 1 million views. How the Affordable Care Act is going to affect you. By the way, specific questions. Should I make $2,000 a month and I have a $600 payment? One of the ways he's able to do this is he has a call-in show. So he's actually getting specific questions. Could you have people in your community or your customers submit you specific questions and just answer them? Done. Now you've got your next 100 YouTube videos. What does Gary Vee do? He literally started a show called the Ask Gary Vee Show, where he just answers specific questions. Here's Marie Forleo. Should I get my PhD in anthropology or chase a lifelong dream of becoming an astronaut? It's a pretty specific question. So here's a question for you. We're going to make a napkin plan. What is a specific question you could answer on your YouTube channel? And the power, the word specific is key, because if you do want to stand out in a 2022 world, the more specific, the better. Like, this is why if you do a August 2022 market update for Snohomish, Washington, not Seattle, but that's fine too, Everett, Washington, if you do that's a specific area. Sean, there's already other agents in my area. Doesn't matter. You've already at least niched down. The riches are in the niches. So specific, when you cover maybe something that just happened, well, Sean, everything's taken. There's no way everything could be taken. Stuff is always happening today. There's new things happening today. That's why Dave's answering like, should I buy Bitcoin or should I invest in mutual funds? It's like Bitcoin is a specific thing that's on top of people's minds right now. And so I've done this over and over and built, as Tristan said, millions of subscribers. But this is good to know. 70% of viewers are using YouTube to help them solve a problem. And so you can answer specific questions and answer those problems for them. And let me just give you an illustration of Larry. So Larry is a chartered financial analyst. He posted his first video not long ago. So you might be wondering, is it too late to do this? And again, there's no special lighting here. This is his smartphone. This is him in his office. Nothing fancy about what's happening, but he's just sharing his knowledge and he's answering specific questions. And in 6 months, he grew 53,000 subscribers, got almost 900,000 views, and he only did 13 videos.
Wow.
Why? Well, because he was making the right videos. See, the mistake I think people make is they kind of don't know what to talk about. That's why I'm giving you these 3 surefire video ideas, because you want to just make sure you're in your zone of genius. You understand who you're talking to, and then just answer their question. Just like share what you know. Like if you help them get that result, then they'll be pumped about it and you'll see the growth on the other side. Here's Kerry. He does like print on demand and helps people kind of with Facebook ads, arbitrage, selling shirts, Shopify, all kinds of different e-commerce type of stuff. Do you need a business license to sell on Shopify? Very specific question, 35,000 views. And it attracts the right people into his world. Now you might notice Kerry only has 5,000 subscribers here. I know that's a lot if you have 0, but it's not Mr. Beast. Yet he's built a high 10, 20, 30, 40K a month business. I'm not sure what he's at now, from attracting the right people. Is selling t-shirts online still profitable? Let me give you the other 2. The second thing, and this is very powerful. This should get you excited because this is where you can really experience some big growth. Answer specific questions is like slow and steady growth. Is like not hyper, values increasing in the market. It's just like, I'm good. It's just going to go 5-10% a year. I'm just going to ride this thing out, man. It's just going to keep going up. Trend surfing, this is like the hyper growth stuff. I learned this, and to give you a quick illustration, this is Jeff Moores, and he's a pastor in Oceanside, and he's actually who got me into video back in 2003 when he was my youth pastor. But he took me surfing in Oceanside, and it was the worst day of my life. So, I mean, he's of course fit. On the flip side, I have no upper body strength. Like that's one thing we need to make clear. Second, I don't know how to swim. And third, I don't like the water. So my great friend Jeff was like, let's go surfing. And I was like, let's eat breakfast. I don't know about why are we going in the salt water where my eyes are going to be stinging? Anyways, so he takes me out and sure enough, I just get decimated. I never get up. I'm trying to swim. I'm drinking salt water. I got the longest, spongiest board, and it's just not happening for me. But meanwhile, what I would notice was I would see Jeff, excuse me, and I'd observe what he would do is he would paddle out. He would kind of pop up on his board, sit there, and then he would wait for the right wave. When he saw the right wave coming, he'd turn around, he'd start paddling, and he'd pop up. And what he had figured out was timing, the ability to discern waves coming. And he didn't just go on any wave, but he'd go after the right wave, right? And so he had this skill set to see which wave was coming, and then he would turn around, paddle, and catch it. And he had developed that skill set. What does that have to do with YouTube? Well, I coined this term called trend surfing, because what you want to do on YouTube is you want to see what trends are coming, what's on top of people's minds, what are people talking about. When you notice it, then you have the agility to say, okay, now it's time to go live. It's time to shoot that video. It's time to respond to that thing. It's time to talk about that thing. You start paddling, you catch the wave, you ride the wave out, and then you experience massive growth in the views in the process. And so this is the second idea. It's called trend surfing. This is Erica Kohlberg. She was able to pay off $200,000 in student loan debt. Now she's a lawyer, racked up a lot of student loan debt from becoming a lawyer, right? Also kind of wanted to get out of the day-to-day grind of that. So she started a YouTube channel. And during the pandemic, some of the videos that blew up for her was Lawyer Explains the new stimulus package. Lawyer Explains the stimulus check. 856,000 views. So she's taking her skill set, but looking at what's trending in culture. So when I say trend surfing, I'm not saying jump on the latest TikTok dancing trend. What it is it's about finding the intersection of your expertise in your industry and talking about relevant topics. Of course, in real estate, people are doing this all the time, like renting versus buying. There's going to be a crash. But I encourage you to not be critical of people doing this. I encourage you to jump on the bandwagon, because it's what's on top of mind. Good marketing is tapping into people's fear of loss and desire for gain. Good marketing is thinking about what are the worries and anxieties and things that are keeping people up at night, and then creating content in response. And so this is trend surfing. Should you buy a home in 2022 or wait for a crash? And someone like Carson here, she's new to the game. So you go, I see everybody doing this. It's too late. No. Brand new people are doing this all the time because they're tapping into the power of trend surfing. It could be health trends. This has been one of our students, fats that cause more inflammation. Keto, of course, people wanting to do intermittent fasting is also on trend. And he doesn't just follow health trends. He's deep. His name's Ben Azadi Keto Camp, but he's getting 310,000 views by doing a YouTube short about the worst fats to eat or whatever, which foods cause inflammation. And there's certain times when certain topics are top of mind for people. So here's our napkin plan. We're writing down on our napkin. What are the relevant trends, news headlines, or top of mind topics related to your business or industry that you could just create content, commentating on, reacting to? And here's the formula. You want to talk about the right topic at the right time with the right title, the right thumbnail, and the right content. And I know that's a lot, but it's the intersection. So it's like, okay, what's the specific? I'm going to talk about the Fed interest rates. I'm going to talk about housing. I'm going to talk about that new, maybe a celebrity tried a diet, and your thing is the opposite of that. Like, our approach to health is sustainable. Meanwhile, there's these fads. So you react to it. Like, there's different ways you can do it with tact and with wisdom, but then you need to make sure the video comes out at the right time. If you don't start paddling, like me, by the way, I'm getting tumbled in the waves. I don't understand timing. But Jeff, he sees the right wave coming. He turns around, starts paddling to catch it. So there's something about the timing of it. And then you have a strong title that gets attention. The thumbnail really matters on YouTube. That's why you'll sometimes notice these thumbnails are dramatic, but they're getting attention. People are clicking on them. And then you just deliver valuable content related to that. We did a video on how to use your smartphone as a webcam for free, because actually webcams were all sold out. This was during the pandemic. and people wanted better quality on Zoom. And we had a viral video. This is Omar, one of the content creators on our team. It actually, I think, has 2 million views now. 2 million views, but it wasn't just good content. It was trend. It was on people's minds at the moment. It was the right content for the moment. This is one of our students who is doing prepper stuff. Should I prep? Food storage. And that was related to kind of her homemaking channel, but it was much more top of mind. I love this example. When iOS 14 came out and was messing people up doing digital advertising, again, you need to know what's on people's minds. Like, oh crap, is iOS 14 going to mess up our Facebook ads? How do we respond to that? So I would say 99% of agencies and digital advertising specialists did not do this, but the smart 1% are like, I need to talk about the trending thing. And this is not a trending celebrity. This isn't about the Kardashians. This is about like a very relevant headline, something in news related ultimately to your industry, especially if you were in digital advertising. And then let me give you this last one and we could do some Q&A and some anything else with the remainder of our time. But the third thing I'd recommend is video podcasting. So we can answer specific questions, trend surfing, and then also, you know, surf on some trends. But then also I encourage you on YouTube, probably one of the best uses of your time is to start a video podcast. And here's how simple it could be. This is my friend, Carey Newhoff. He has a leadership podcast. His audio podcast has 10 years old, by the way. So it does take time to build up that influence. It's one of the top leadership podcasts. But he actually, we did a coaching call and he told me he recorded every single one of his podcasts on Zoom because he liked to look at the other person. And so he's like, yeah, I have the archives of all of, you know, my podcasts on audio. So then I said, well, Carey, have you started your YouTube channel? He goes, no, they're just sitting on my computer. And I go, Carey, you are being irresponsible. I am personally offended that you're telling me, because it'd be one thing if you didn't record the video, but you're actually telling me, like, even if you didn't have a good title or a good thumbnail or a good anything, you're just sitting on all these video. And so he doesn't have a fancy studio. He doesn't have a fancy camera. He just gets on Zoom. But what he started to do was upload not just his audio podcast, but he started to upload the video as well. And he's already at 20,000 subscribers by doing a video podcast. Now, the reason you'd want to do this is because you do one thing, interview somebody or do a solo round, right? And then you can put it on YouTube to get all the benefits of YouTube, but you can also put it on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and just use one of those softwares that lets you post it everywhere. And now you could be in the most places with your content by doing the least amount of actions. You know, why does Grant Cardone, he has like a show called The Cardone Zone, but he's actually on video. And then he also puts it on Apple Podcasts and he shows up once a week and he does a show. He does a podcast. Lewis House, he has a video podcast. It's one of the top audio podcasts, but he's also on video. These are some financial service providers. I spoke at an event in Florida and Casey here would interview different people about, especially they're helping people that are going into retirement. And so he just simply does a video podcast, video interview, but then he also posts it on Apple's Retire with Purpose podcast. And so he also then posts it on his website. So he kind of is getting inbound traffic, clients, leads, whatever on his website. So it's on YouTube. It's on his website. It's on the audio platforms. And I want you to see this. He's only getting 128 views here. Don't underestimate the power of 17 views, 26 views. When you create one asset, because you can get 128 views here. You get 65 views over here. You post it on your website, someone based on the title, maybe it starts to index in Google, people find it here. And how many people do you need to, I asked these guys when I was talking to them, how many people do you need to manage? They're helping baby boomers with 1 to 3 million that need to be managed. They're getting their 1.5%. It's like, we don't need that many clients. So it's like, depends on the model, depends on the business model. So I want to encourage you to potentially start a show. And this is the last really geeky thing we'll do, but here's why, because this is what I call the video podcast content pyramid. You can start your one podcast, but then what you can do from it is you can post clips. So you might talk for 30 minutes. You do an interview with somebody, you might do an hour long, But if you look at what Joe Rogan does, he has a clips channel and he pulls out headlines, or rather his team pulls out headlines. And of course he's at Rogan level, but he's talking about these, he's doing trend surfing. They're always talking about top of mind, headline based commentary on culture or different things that are happening, but they trim those out so you can get even more leverage. You do one video podcast, but there might be 2, 3, 4 relevant clips that you could also post on your same YouTube channel or another YouTube channel. Somebody could help you turn it into an Instagram carousel where maybe you do a solo round. You teach 3 things related to your business. Well, you can also turn that into graphical content. You could also turn that into blogs and LinkedIn articles, all from that one YouTube video. So you've maybe seen something like this before, but this is the power. And the reason why I say video podcast, not audio podcast, because if you do video like Kerry was doing, or he started to do, then the YouTube video trickles down. You've got your YouTube video, you can embed that on your website. Then you distribute the audio to all the podcast platforms. Then you could do short video clips out of it that are also on YouTube, but now you have short clips for social media. Then you can repurpose content to articles, quotes, cards, blog posts. And you might be going, dear God, like I'm already too busy. I can't do all this stuff. Well, remember, Alex and Layla Hermosi are investing $40,000 a month in content. If you're in real estate and you're flipping houses, I ask people this all the time. I go, wait, did you just go knock all the sheetrock down and redo the counters? They're like, nah, I hired somebody. Well, why, if you're in business, unless you're trying to get this going and you want to be a content creator, you're not going to do this yourself. You're going to hire this out, but you're going to be the person who's architecting the tip of the pyramid. You actually do need to be the mastermind who's thinking about, okay, what's the trends that I'm surfing? What is the specific questions that I want to be answering? What am I putting at the top of the pyramid? And how am I delivering that great content so that if it goes into a system like this, that it ultimately can impact people at a high level? So here's your 3 things. You answer specific questions, trend surfing, and video podcasting. Those are the kind of 3 strategies I would do to start getting some impact on YouTube. And here's your plan. Your simple YouTube success plan is to write down, based on this, 5 to 10 of the best and easiest video ideas for you to create. There's probably 5 or more specific questions. You're like, I could literally put my phone on the desk right now and answer that question. Like that would not be hard. Like that's your video. Like, hey, a lot of people ask me about what's the best loan to get, when it comes to getting a mortgage. Well, I'm going to talk about the 3 most popular and which one I think. It's what you would talk to a friend over coffee about. Well, there's a couple of video ideas. What's a trend, maybe a news headline you could kind of teach around or react to. And then that becomes the content that could be a video podcast or could just be one-off YouTube videos that you'll ultimately do. And then what I recommend is finding a way and committing to just posting 1 video a week. Sean, do I need to, post as many pieces of content as this or that person I see? Not yet. Just 1 video a week. Build a team up around it, build some systems up around it, build your confidence up around it. And let's dive into some questions, but I want you to screenshot this. It's quite a bit on this slide here, but this is also what's interesting, because I want to encourage you, by investing in media and YouTube content and video podcasting, it's not just your business revenue and customers and leads that can go up. It's the fact that you can make money in a lot of different ways. So I was actually just talking with Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David's team, and I said, what are you guys doing? Valuetainment just bought a building. They're doing more media. They're investing in more shows. I said, like, how are you guys making money? He goes, well, Leo on his team, he goes, we got 20 divisions. I was like, oh, just 20? And he's like, yeah, I mean, we have our conference. So you can see events are on here. We have our big conference. We have our smaller sales leader summit. We have a couple of different masterminds. We got one-on-ones. We have our consulting business. We see a vision of that being $1 billion business. We do monetize our content. So actually, because our views have grown, our YouTube monetization's good. We got people sponsoring our content now. We actually have an investments arm, and we can raise capital and private equity. A lot of people are doing that. Grant Cardone's doing it. Space Station Gaming's doing that. So you can do so many different things with YouTube ads, affiliate marketing, crowdfunding, SaaS, software as a service, network marketing. And this is actually just the tip of the iceberg, but this is worth screenshotting. And again, well, Sean, this sounds like this is a whole thing. This needs like a director of ops. Yeah. It would be worth it for you to hire a 6-figure position to help you build out your media empire. like, Sean, this sounds like it's going to actually need a little bit of, well, it'd at least be worth it to hire a media assistant or a social media assistant. Well, I might need like, how am I going to create all this video? Why are you spending money on dumb stuff and wasting money on marketing over here when you could invest in a $5,000 person a month that could help you film, edit, and upload this stuff? So you can bootstrap this and put in the sweat equity, but it's also about realizing that, listen, friend, on the other side of this, right? Like on the other side of investing in media is untold rivers of wealth, like untold wet rivers of influence, impact, you scaling. And that's, I think, the big unlock is to say, is this going to be easy? Heck no. Like, is this going to be like, is this going to take some energy? For sure. But it's an ROI question. Will it be worth, will there be a high enough return on investment? And the answer is yes. So I'd love to hear your aha moment and your biggest takeaway and what stood out to you in the chat. And I want to engage with you there for question Q&A. And yeah, if you want more help with any of this kind of stuff, obviously there's a lot of questions. We do have a free thing. It's called freeyoutubeschool.com. It's super chill. It's just, there's nothing really there. You could find like our course and stuff, but like if you have a million questions, we put like all your questions in one place for free. And it's like a PDF download that all about cameras, lighting, setups and stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. And I'm happy to send you these slides as well. hello@seancannell.com. I'd be happy to send these to you if you're interested at all. And would love to connect on social media. So there's the email address, hello@seancannell.com. And if you want to connect on social, I am @SeanCannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. Tristan, what do you want to talk about?
Dude, there's so much here. I probably snapshotted a whole bunch of these, not knowing you were going to give this away for free. So I just put up your email address there. Let's go through some questions. I'm going to go reverse. So the questions that are at the bottom, I'm going to start with first so I don't miss those. How important is or are the video descriptions and the keywords for optimization?
So ultimately, not that important in a 2022 world. Old school SEO is kind of dead, but what is important is your title. Your title carries a ton of weight. If there, in terms of keyword thinking and ranking based on search terms, your title carries the weight. And then what you say in your video matters, because YouTube is a lot smarter. YouTube's algorithm sees, like a good example would be, and they teach about the algorithm, if you were to say cricket in your title. Now, cricket could be an insect, or cricket could be the sport in Europe. But what YouTube will understand is they will look at the language in your title, but robots scan your video and they might see, oh, this is a sports video. Or they might see, oh, this is actually a video about insects. So the punchline being, they also, whether you upload a caption file or not, what you say matters. So the best SEO, search engine optimization, is really good content that reinforces one idea with like a strong title. So for example, if you were to say, which is the best loan, like FHA or conventional, you really have a good title with that in the title. And then in the video, you would be reinforcing that with your language, and all the viewer signals in the video would be reinforcing that. And they would see that, okay, this final package, basically trying to be clear here, that Google just wants to deliver the right answer to the end user. And they're scanning way more than keywords. They're scanning the content itself. And so that's why you want to start with the end in mind. What do I want to be found for? What am I trying to deliver on? And so, yeah, don't worry too much about tags and description. Think about the title, think about the thumbnail, think about the content, and think about this is a big one. Try to do one keyword phrase, one video. What do I mean? One topic, one video, because that makes it easier for Google to deliver the answer. You can do like a masterclass, but a lot of people are doing like 10 things in a video when it could have been 10 videos. Like, what is the one thing the person wants? And you want to start getting discovered for answer specific questions, one question, one video. And just really hammer that question and be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. Just get to the answer. So the title itself is like the thing, and that could be searchable, like a tag, because tags don't even really matter. but the title matters. And so an example in my world might be like the best lenses for the Canon M50 camera. Not just the camera, but lenses for a specific camera, not all the cameras. And it's not the best lenses and the best tripods and everything else. And it's not how to use it. And someone is out there like, I bought this new camera. I need lenses for it. And I am where I am today from doing that 2,000 times. And now I have millions of followers because I'm answering specific questions, one video, one question, be brief, be bright, be fun, be done. And then what happens is people discover you and they start get into your whole world after that.
I love that. How important are captions?
They won't really make or break your video. We use rev.com, which is a hard cost of $1.25 per minute. If the video is longer, that could get kind of expensive. And that just means the captions are perfect. YouTube is getting really close. YouTube, meaning they're auto-generated captions. What I would say is, they say there's a little bit more weight. YouTube says there's a little bit more weight given when you do custom captions. And we also think about just doing our content world class. We want the video, we like the video to be quality, a good effort we put out into the world, presented in the best way possible to also serve those, with the hearing impaired or it can help for people who, in other languages. So it's kind of just a best practice, but it's a less than 5% of net impact. So there's bigger things you could focus on, but why not do all the best practices? Maybe not get distracted by it at first, but if you were going to build out scale, we do it. We caption every video. $1.25 a minute, rev.com, rev.com is the website.
Perfect. And there was a question here. I thought it was interesting. Is it true that when you put some money behind a video on YouTube, it messes up the algorithm? Should you start with putting money on YouTube videos or should you just go for organic?
It doesn't mess up the algorithm really. That's thing one. YouTube is not going to penalize you. Two, I don't recommend paying for video views just as a way of getting discovered or getting reach. I do recommend YouTube advertising, but to be used in a direct response way, meaning it's ROI positive. You can determine your return on ad spend and you have something to sell and you're tracking conversions. To build an organic audience, you should do it organically, or what I would invest in. So I think the mistake people make is they want to pay for views. What you should do is pay for quality of content. Hire a better editor, hire someone to help you. What you should do is buy a plane ticket and fly to the West Coast and rent a car and do a video podcast with 4 people that would really be meaningful and chop that content up in a lot of ways. Does that make sense? So it's like, let's assume you had $10,000 to invest in YouTube ads. I'd invest that $10,000 in quality content, grow an audience through the quality of that content. And in the meantime, I would invest $10,000 into YouTube ads to a landing page, an offer page, something where you can track conversions and get a 1.5, 2, 3, 5, 6x return on ad spend. But I would not pay for ads just to get views and awareness. It doesn't work and it doesn't really lead to a good audience.
Carol says, dude, I feel like I just came out of a bubble. That's such a good statement, dude. Carol, you probably did. So thanks for coming and watching Sean. Great question. I know this one, a lot of people are thinking, do I use my name, my business name, or a team name in real estate for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's a great question. My friend Shalene Johnson really helps me as she coaches network marketers. And here's one fact. What name will you have with you for your entire life? Your name. What name will you have for your entire life? Maybe not your company's name. So, Redfin or Keller Williams, maybe you will, maybe you won't, probably you won't. And so she always recommended that people build up their personal brand name because they might not be with Beachbody or Nerium or whoever forever. And so saying that, I do think that it depends on your vision. and it depends on your end goal. I think there is an opportunity to be, the riches are in the niches. So if you if you were to have a channel that was coaching and attracting like other Keller Williams associates or something, well, that's your strategy. Problem is, like, as that grows up, if you tried to pivot, you might be kind of stuck in that. And that's something to be thoughtful of. I'm not trying to say it'll actually be bad. You should just be thoughtful of it. So, but macro, I think that your first and last name, and I think, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Lewis Howes, Chalene Johnson, Oprah Winfrey. There's just something about first and last name on a macro, like that's going to be your unstoppable personal brand. You might also build other brands around it. So, which is fine. But anyways, yeah, up to you. And I'm not trying to talk you out of doing your business. And by the way, my name, Think Media. That's another good thing to consider. There's a good book called Built to Sell. And in some cases, your name might not be sellable unless you become Jim Rohn or Tony Robbins and your IP is valuable enough. Thus, Success Magazine, many people can run with that brand. Think Media, which I got lucky, I would argue. I've tried to be thoughtful my whole journey, and I do have my Sean Cannell personal YouTube channel. I don't even upload there. I'm going to be more focused. My ultimate goal, as I'm 38, I'm in my 40s, kind of want to go more like leadership. Maybe later, I want to go leadership, probably more like leadership principles from a biblical perspective. In the meantime, I'm growing Think Media, and now I'm growing other personalities on Think Media. And I am working myself away from the brand because I'm not even trying to sell, but is it built to sell? Is it built on me, or is it built on a promise? And so that your business name is great. It's just, what do you want to build? And ultimately there could be different assets, your personal brand, your company brand. And so I started to really shift the focus of our company to be much focused in trying to build the company brand. So there's a more valuable asset, and steering our ship towards that and away from it being built on my personal brand.
Great question. All right, dude. What about length of video? How long should we be shooting for? Because we have the longer YouTube video now, TikTok, Instagram, all that.
Yeah. It's going to be a very frustrating answer, but it's the truth. Your video should be either less than a minute, 5 minutes, or 8, or it should be 12 to 18, or 30, or 1 hour, or it should be 3 hours. How long should my video be? Yes. That's the answer.
Shoot video.
Your video should be as long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. So people go, how long should my video be? Well, did you know YouTube has shorts now? So YouTube shorts are to compete with kind of TikTok and short form content. They're vertical, not horizontal, and they're less than a minute, and they're crushing. Chris Do, to your example, has multi-million viewed shorts, and he has multi-million viewed hour-and-a-half lectures. So it's not either or, it's both and it's understanding each different content format. YouTube respects all the different lengths. So literally, I actually was giving you actual numbers, like a YouTube shorts under a minute. That's valuable. They could be 15 seconds, like quick hits. They maybe get you exposure. There's something powerful about having videos that are under 5 minutes. That's kind of a sweet spot. Once you hit 8 minutes, you're allowed to do multiple ad spots on ad revenue. It's kind of a geeky thing, but just there's something. 12 is really good because over 10. And so, but in all of that, you go, okay, so Sean, what are you even saying? I'm saying actually just make content that's great, and your videos should be as long as they need to be, but as short as possible. If you look at Lewis Howes' channel, he's got 2, 3, 4 hour videos. But he also has interviewed all these crazy people, and he turns these into compilations. And my friend Evan Carmichael does the same. They're finding some of their best impact with over 3 hour videos, but it also doesn't apply to every type of content format. Personal development audience wants to listen to while working or while commuting, maybe a lot of rich, longer form interviews. So that was probably frustrating because you're like, just give me an answer. But the truth is literally all the different lengths make sense. It's just optimizing your content to really be valuable to that length. If the interview that's 2 hours long is boring, then then people probably, or no one's interested in the guest, then it won't work. But there's a huge audience that wants to listen to really long form content. And so I'm sorry, there's your answer.
It's a great
Anywhere
answer,
between 1 minute to 5 hours is your opportunity to post YouTube videos.
I love it, dude. Well, thanks for doing this, man. I did put up your links there at the bottom, the courses.seancannell.com free download. And I'm sure, what's the website you had to go through a whole YouTube course? You had a great link for that. Where's that? Is that the same one?
My course?
Yeah, to learn more about YouTube. Hold on, I think I have it right here. Let me just grab that, make sure. Yeah, that's the one. So it's just courses.seancannell.com without the download part. I just wanted to throw that in there just in case people want to take that course and learn more about YouTube in general.
Yeah, and actually that is our public price for it, but we have like 75% off that at joinvra.com.
We don't want to give that away like that, do we? I'm just messing, dude.
That's the better. I mean, just for your crew and stuff too, if you're interested in just kind of all the things. And what I would especially encourage this audience is, a lot of, I talked to a guy in real estate investing named Vlad, and he had all kinds of different things going, different investments, and he'd built up his team and he'd built things up. And then he started to get into our stuff, and he started to kind of get geeky about it. Like, you get into it, you're like, let me get the microphone, let me get my setup going and get my camera, and this stuff's all super fun. And then he was like, yeah, I'm trying to kind of grow, but I'm so busy, and it takes me like 4 hours to 8 hours to edit a video. And I go, wait a minute, why are you editing your own videos? He goes, well, I watch your stuff, I'm trying to figure out how to learn editing. And I go, the real estate example, I go, you flip houses, right? He goes, yeah. I go, are you changing the electrical fixtures? He's like, nah. I was like, are you pressure washing the front? I was like, you're flipping out. You have to leverage a team, right? And he was like, yeah. And I go, so why are you approaching your YouTube channel or this content creation side of your business kind of by yourself? So I do want to encourage people to go with the mentality, even if you look at like our program called Video Reiki Academy. Number one, you can learn from it yourself, but you can use it as an asset because your license into that program is something you can maybe give to an assistant you have. You maybe have somebody, you're like, I want to do this. And here, Sean has laid the blueprint for it. You understand it a little bit, but you start building a team around you. And it's just worth it. I mean, if you trust me, trust Tristan, you might go negative 6 to 12 months, even 2 years. But when you start a new small businesses are not usually profitable for 12 to 24 months. But what's the vision they have? They're going to be profitable. So if your other business is healthy, why not fund your media company? You know what I mean? Like, why not say, I'm going to allocate basically some marketing dollars. You could even call it R&D. You got your research and development department, your marketing department. I want to allocate some money into building this content media arm of my business, slow and steady, because my friends, this is only where the future is going to go over the next decade. And so we want you to be recession proof and anti-fragile so that you are positioned on these platforms. And so I hope that serves, but that's definitely the mindset I would have, especially in a group like this.
Yeah, dude, great addition. Everyone's very thankful. I put up your link again to joinvra.com. I'll throw it on there again. That's the discounted course as well. I'm part of the course as well, so I am taking that one as well. I've got a lot to catch up on, dude. Micro. There's so much that I wrote down. My big aha was ask stupid, simple, specific question.
Yeah.
That was ask stupid, simple, specific, or answer stupid, simple, specific questions, right?
Tristan, you know so much. Like, again, we sit down, you already got the setup. You sit right where you are, right? And should you buy a house or not right now? Let me know. I'm actually asking you a simple question.
That answer isn't as clear for everyone. It really depends on the city, the state, and your finances. So that's a great question. I should just answer that online.
Just to answer that question. But that's also really, really powerful. Someone saw there, the 97 is a payment plan. There's also a pay in full option. This is already discounted, Tom. So my website, this program is normally $4,000, but this page was just for a special promotion that we're doing that I'm just sharing here. So it's already discounted. But I love the way you answered that was perfect. We just templated a video. So your answer to the question might be 3 questions. And you said, well, so it's a hard, you can't actually answer it, but here's what I consider. Number 1, what market are you in? Here's how you could think about your local market, maybe look up some comps. Number 2, can you ultimately afford it? Listen, if you're going to hold it for 6 to 10 years, it's not a big deal anyway. So let's crunch the math. You could crunch this. Number 3. And so there's your framework to answering the specific question. Your knowledge is so valuable. And should I sell my home right now?
Yeah, it also goes along the same lines, because where are you going to buy, right? Can you afford to buy with the new interest rates? Is it worth it? So great.
Easy. Yeah. You don't even need to prepare. You could deliver so much value and answer specific questions.
That's so true, dude. We all could. We're sucking. Everyone out there, you suck. You need to do more. Okay, there you go. I need a hat that says ASQ, or I love the ASSQ.
Answer stupid, specific, simple questions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I love it. All right, Sean, thank you so much, man. I appreciate this. And where do people go and follow you? Where do you drop the most knowledge?
Probably Instagram. Would love to connect on Instagram at Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. And I do have, to encourage everyone too. You're getting a lot of knowledge in daily reels now. I'm doing daily vertical videos. As much as I talk about YouTube, I do believe in video on all the platforms. But also practically, the only way I'm able to sustain this is team. I kept it simple, like the 1 video a week, started getting some revenue here, and then reinvest in the business, reinvested into the systems, and reinvested in the team. But anyways, so there's a lot of value just if you're, busy, as I imagine you would be, hang out with me on Instagram and vertical video to multi-purpose. Exactly. All these vertical videos are chopped out. So like, for example, I hired a guy named Evan, and he's working about 10, 20 hours a week. And he actually started for $7.25 an hour, minimum wage for his local state. And he would make me videos like this. So I would do a stream like I'm doing right here, and then he would cut this out. People say, like, how do you do the captions? What's the software? The answer is not software. The answer is Evan. So there's a really good book called
So funny.
There's a good book called Who Not How. So we say, how am I going to start posting on all these platforms? I'm so busy. How do I do the captions? It's not how do I do the captions? It's just who could take my weekly show and chop it into vertical videos and post it on Instagram for me. And as revenue has been rising, I invite people along on the journey. So I said, we just gave Evan a raise to $12 an hour, which is still incredible, huge jump. But I mean, again, he's somewhere in middle America. And so, yeah, he's a young kid too. He's like 18, and found him. He's part of our community, and he wanted to kind of learn from us as well. So again, we started him out on just minimum wage, and he bills us as a contractor. So it's really simple. And then he didn't even ask for a raise, but we gave him a raise recently, and he's pumping out these great videos. And so, well, how do you find someone like that? Well, who not how? I don't know. Find a recruiter. I don't know. Reach out to us. I know we got to end, but who not how? It's time to do it. I'm pumped. Tristan, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
This was awesome, man. If you want more of Sean too, I interviewed him for Success Magazine. Brilliant thoughts. Go check that one out. And we did an Instagram live as well. So Sean, you rock, buddy. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, man. I'm so grateful to hang out with you and your community, and look forward to the next time.